Hey Karen, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your address position and we'll take a look at a few things for you. So while we get you back here in your setup, let's just take a look at your posture. So your spine's nice and straight on a tilt. It's a little too vertical. Legs come down maybe into a little bit of a bent position, and then you hold your arms sort of off that vertical spine, and then the golf club works out to the ball sort of from this vantage point, creating too much of a straight line between the arms and the golf club. So if we're going to work on your posture from this vantage point, what we would do is we would throw your tail out and up and push your sternum out, up, and forward. And what that's going to do, it's just going to increase the angle to your spine. Okay? Very, very important to get the spine in the right position at address. From there, by getting your tail out and up, that'll straighten your legs a little bit. So now we'll just keep our legs in a nicely unlocked position. And then from there, let your arms hang down nice and naturally off that tilted spine, increasing the angle relationship between the arms and the golf club in here. Okay? So taking it from sort of this tall red position where we're pronating the hands and arms out, sort of bending the knees and sitting back, by pushing the tail out, getting the sternum out and forward, and getting your sternum and your head a little bit more over your toes, that'll position you a little bit more per se into your golf ball with your spine. And obviously getting this spine in this position is critical because we're trying to set that axis, because that's what we're going to build our golf swing upon, is the rotational movement around that blue spinal position. Okay, so very important for you to get into yellow from red. Okay, tail out and up, sternum out and forward. That'll straighten the legs a hair. It'll get your spine on more incline, facing the ball a little bit more. Hang your arms down, increase the angle relationship between your arms and your golf club. From there, we can go ahead and obviously start to build a good golf swing. From here, your alignment looks good, so we don't really need to pay attention to that. Let's go ahead and just do a split screen comparison between you and Chela Choi. Got some color-coded lines on the screen here just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. And before we go ahead and take a look at the dynamic move, let's just reiterate some of the posture things I was talking about so we can see with Chela for sure. Right, her spine's on more of an angle forward. Her sternum and the head are much more over her toes. Her tail is definitely out more, not bending the knees as much, and definitely a better arm relationship with the golf club. From here, as we go ahead and draw this golf club back, simply want to turn the shoulders, draw the arms and hands back with the club. We want the club coming back along the red line, which means the club would be swinging back on proper swing plane. Also, in the early stages of the golf swing, we want to incorporate some wrist hinge into play, which means that we want to transition the club head currently from being below and in front of our hands to getting this club head above and behind our hands. This is a very, very important move, transitional move in the takeaway right here. So that club head is working above and behind the hands. So that golf club is remaining on plane. Very, very important. From here now we're working the golf club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When Chela sets the golf club at the top, she's got her left arm and her golf club pretty much situated on the yellow line. She has full shoulder rotation, and she does this about a very stable right leg while maintaining the posture axis, her spinal position that she created at address. So it has not changed. And that's why setting that spinal position right from the get-go is really, really important, because we want to rotate about that tilt. Unfortunately with you, when you create your motion now, you're going to be turning off of a spinal position that's just too vertical. And it doesn't keep you into the ball, and obviously your shoulders will be rotating at about 90 degrees to the spine, therefore the shoulders are going to be rotating too shallow to the ground. As we go ahead and watch you draw your golf club back here, unfortunately you send your hands out away from your body. Okay? So we see your hands moving out in this direction here, taking the club to the outside of the ball. Something we need to understand about a golf swing is that if this golf club is going to travel back along the red line and swing on plane, we have to understand that swinging a golf club on plane means that the club head works on an arc, and an arc from the ball works on a circle inside. So this club head should be inside of the ball right now, not outside. So if I bring Chela back down to the same position you're in, look at where her club head is. Her club head is inside of the golf ball. Yours is moving outside. So don't be afraid when you initiate your takeaway. Very simply, just let your hands, arms, and golf club swing inside and around you. So this golf club can be on the red line, just like what we see with Chela Choi. Okay? I'll take her back to the top again. We'll continue to complete your backswing. So as you've taken your hands outside, you're virtually just pretty much picking the club up. We're not swinging it around us. We also don't see this club head working above or behind your hands at this point in time. So there's not a lot of wrist hinge occurring. We're very stiff forearmed with the club. Definitely need to learn how to create proper wrist hinge in the golf swing. From here, probably going to get still pretty stiff wristed. Here, now we get a little bit of wrist hinge, and where did the club work? Behind your hand. But unfortunately, this is very, very late, and obviously, because you took that club outside to begin with, very likely you're going to set your hands and arms very steep at the top of your backswing, which is exactly where we see you going. So when you finally get to the top of your set position here, you've turned your shoulders very, very nicely, maintained a very stable right leg. You've rotated off the axis that you created, which was too steep. But the nice thing is you sort of dove down a little bit with your spine, and you've got your left shoulder low, so you really not have any difficulty seeing the golf ball. So that's really, really good. Right elbow flies a little bit, club over swings. So obviously understanding where the arms need to be at the top of the backswing would be ideal for you. We need to get this left arm way down towards the yellow line here. We got to get your arm plane in a shallower position, and that will help you come into the ball better from on plane, which we're going to take a look at in just a few seconds here. Okay? Also, we want to create this rotational movement upon a better spinal position by changing that right from the get-go, as we've already commented. Okay? Anyways, as we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire the knees and the hips laterally to the target. We want to unwind our core and fire our hands. In doing so, we have to bring the club from yellow, or wherever we set it within that blue-yellow V zone, which we're allowed, and get that club to return back to red. And that's what we see here with Chela Choi. We see the golf club returning back to being on plane. Now there's one other thing I want to point out at this stage of the golf swing. It's the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. This simply means that her club head is remaining above and behind her hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone her ability to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club, again, has returned to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. With you, we watch your transition into the ball from your steep set position. So left arm and club are not within your blue-yellow V zone. As we create this transition in the ball, you come into the ball over the top. Your hands even work further out away from blue, and you're coming in definitely too steep. So if we go ahead and track your club head now, basically what we can see is we can see that your club head is not returning back to plane. Okay, that club is going to continue to come into the ball too steep. Now we can look at your lead forearm and your golf club and say, hey, you know what, we've got your backwards check mark, so creating some power in your golf swing won't be an issue. Problem is the ability to hit this ball straight because the club hasn't returned back to plane. This backwards check mark is absolutely critical, because what I want you to understand, let's go back to address. I talked about how important it is to create good wrist hinge, to get this club head to move above and behind the hands as we're bringing the club back. So here we are, we're bringing the club back, it's traveling along red, and where's the club head going? We're creating this wrist hinge to get that club head above and behind the hands. Well, what do you know? We're right in the exact same backwards check mark position. That's how important this move is, because now when we get to the top, what do? We start our downswing and we return right back into that position. This is what allows us to hit the ball far, but also hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment, assuming that obviously we have a good grip and the club face is going to square up. So as we keep coming into the golf ball for you, your club's going to fall out in front of you, and it's coming in too steep from over the top, and this club is going to be attacking the ball from what we refer to is outside to inside. Okay? So I'm just sort of connecting the dots here, give you a good visual as to how your club descended into the ball. Okay? On the left side of the screen, again, we note that Chela's club returned to plane here, and it very much simply attacks the golf ball directly from the red line. Okay? Or actually, in her case, just a hair underneath. But for simplicity's sake, that club is coming into the ball from on plane, This will allow us, as I've already stated, to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment. We can see that the downswing planes are vastly different here. And knowing that, now we can go ahead and take a look at the paths of the club. So what we can see is that Cella's club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, and the club is moving through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across to make contact. So very, very, very different swing paths. If we happen to square the club face up to your path, you'll hit the ball nice and solid, but it's going to go way left on you. If you release the club to the same path, not only will you pull the ball, but you're going to hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook. If you leave the club face a little bit open to the path, this is when the ball will start just a little bit right of this. By leaving the face a little bit open, imparting a little bit of left to right spin, and we hit this nice little fade that does find the intended target. And that's probably a golf shot you will see quite often when you hit the ball well. If we happen to leave the club face too open, incredibly we'll start the ball even further right, even though we're swinging to the left. And at that point in time, we need to realize the club face is massively open, and we're going to hit some form of a block slice. So unfortunately, the end result of your golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. Because the club is attacking the ball from outside, striking the ball, moving to the inside, if we square the face, the ball follows red. If we over-release the club, it continues down the smaller red arrows. Leave it wide open, follows blue. And if we time it precisely, it'll follow somewhere down yellow, and the shot will turn out. I like where your right foot is at impact here. Your right heel's off the ground. Let's see if you continue with that foot activity through to the finish. And you do, and you carry yourself through to an excellent finish. So at this point in time, we really don't need Cella up on the screen anymore. And as a quick little recap, I mean, you've got some really excellent general athletic ability here. Your hands work really good. They come back, they fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You've got great footwork allowing you to get through to a good finish. The only thing I want you to do with your footwork through to your finish is just pay attention to your left foot. When you swing through the ball, just now try and curl your left toes off the ground and get your weight into the heel of your left foot. Notice your left heel's coming off the ground. So what's happening is you'll find that you lose your balance over in this direction a lot because your left heel is up off the ground. When you get into your finish, get your weight into your left heel when you're done, and you'll never ever fall over, okay? But again, you're carrying yourself through a nice finish. Looks good. Like I said, good. You've got good handwork, good coil, good uncoil, decent enough footwork that you're getting through to a finish. Your alignment's superb. Really what needs to change here is we need to refine the starting posture for sure. You know, get that spine tilted over a little bit more, increase the angle relationship between the arms and the golf club. From here, when we swing the golf club back, we have to swing the hands and arms inside and around us. Don't take the club outside like this. That will then get you into a shallower position right here at the top of your backswing. When we're shallower, it's going to have a domino effect to the downswing. You will automatically come into the ball more from on plane, more from that red line. Right now we're just attacking the ball too far from outside to inside, and at that point in time, it really requires a lot of timing on your part with your club face. So let's go ahead and take a look at your club face through impact here. And it looks like you did a pretty good job there. Club face looks like it's squaring up pretty decently through the ball. But like I said, if it squares up too much, that's when you hit the ball way left. If you leave it a little open, you hit a nice little fade and the ball will find your intended target. Right now we can see that your golf ball is headed. Oh, I just lost it. Let me see. Let me come back here. Yeah, so there's your golf ball there. So right now we see the golf ball right at the tip of that arrow. So the ball's heading in a good direction. Probably has left to right spin, so that ball will probably be moving in this direction in some way, shape, or form. Now how far will be indicative to how much spin you applied to the ball due to how open that club face was. And like I said though, this is the kind of golf shot you see when you hit the ball well. If you happen to leave the club face too open, then obviously you're going to lose that ball too far to the right. So again, it really just comes down to the timing factor. Where is that club face at impact due to this out to in move that you have, okay? So if you had the ability to shallow out your backswing by taking that club inside and around you from the get-go, you'll come into the ball more from on plane. Whether you improve at 5% or 95% would be yet to be determined, but at that point in time, then you can go ahead and work on your downswing and get this club coming into the ball from on plane. Because if you did, you become a really, really great ball striker, you'd be super consistent, and your golf game would completely change, because now it would coincide with your athleticism that you're showing me in this particular swing that is unfortunately geometrically just off. Okay? Anyways, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, feel free to reach out. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all and you're looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a great day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.